Parents are told not to worry if their kid is a little late with milestones, but there's always a reason for it. So if your baby is just not wanting to go down for tummy time at all, and I'm not talking like you can put them down for 30 seconds and then they start crying. These are the babies that cannot go down on their belly at all. The ones that try to crawl, but it's an uneven crawl, or they're not crawling at all, or they're just taking a little longer to walk. These are usually issues with the nervous system, and it shows us that the nervous system is stressed in some way, shape, or form. So we need to figure out why that's happening. So here's the key idea. You can't be in growth mode and protective mode at the same time. It's either one or the other. And when we're in protective mode, these babies' stresses are stuck on. We see it all the time. And that could be from the pregnancy, the birthing process, life at the early ages. All these things, so many things can cause that stress to be stuck on. And if it is, they are in survival mode. They're not in develop and thriving mode, right? So this can be shown as fussiness, as trouble sleeping, trouble eating, all sorts of things. And yes, milestone delays. All right, so to understand this, we need to know the basics very quickly. So the basics are that the brain and spinal cord, the nervous system, controls every other system in the body, tells it what to do, how to do it, when to do it, all the way down to the cells of our body. So the foundation to everything that we're going to be talking about with developmental milestones and things like that is going to be your spinal cord and the base of your brain stem. So you can think of the spinal cord like the master highway of information going from the body to the brain and the brain down to the body. So if we have any kind of interference within that, such as the pelvis being misaligned, any kind of the spine being misaligned, it is going to put stress on the spinal cord, stress on the brainstem, and the brain is not going to know what is going on. And the baby's not going to be able to tell you what's going on unless they have symptoms like, for example, tummy time, like we were talking about, extreme fussiness, not eating well, colicky, things like that. Next is going to be the cerebellum. So we call that the coach. So the cerebellum sits right behind the brainstem. It's going to be the base of the back of your brain, and that is going to coach everything that's coming in from the body. So it's going to be seeing things like balance and coordination, and not so much movement, but the balance and coordination of the rest of the body. So when we see that we have interference in this area, we see kids that are having balance issues, hand-eye coordination issues, they're just walking unevenly, or they're stumbling a lot, like things like that are going to always correlate back to that cerebellum not working properly. The next is going to be the motor cortex, or the planner. So that's going to be sitting at the top of your brain, and that is going to plan movements. So things like reaching or crawling or walking. When we have interference at the base or the foundation of the spinal cord, the cerebellum, getting to that motor cortex or the planner, it can't plan these movements appropriately. So they're going to be either not happening or happening very awkwardly, or just mispatterned movements. Movement depends on feedback. So the body is constantly getting sensory things to the brain and then sending things out. So that's why it's really important for babies to know where they are in space. If you have a baby that is constantly turning its head to one side, or its pelvis is imbalanced, so their crawling is off, or their gait or their walk is off, it's because the feedback system is getting really bad information. I always say it's garbage information getting to the brain. The brain just does what it does with the information that it's getting. So we have to make sure that that feedback system and loop is appropriate and working properly too. Okay, so maybe some of the things that I've been saying have resonated with you, like you're seeing this with your own child, or you're seeing this with a family member's child, and what do we do about it? So in our office, when parents bring their babies with these concerns to us, we do a very thorough evaluation. So we want to know how long this stress has been there, and where the stress is, and what we can do about it. So we can trace it back. Usually we trace it back to the pregnancy. We trace it back to the birthing process. We trace it back to slips and falls or emotional stressors that the baby went through very early on. And then we run technology up their nervous system, up their spinal cord, right, to see where they have these interferences, Very non-invasive scan, but it's so crucial to get that information so that we can see where these interferences are, how severe they are, how long they've been there, and then it gives us a baseline as to what we need to do to help this baby. We also make sure to track where along that system that we have stress and things got stuck. If they got stuck very low down, we know that as the years went on, the development wasn't complete, wasn't very smooth. So we need to make sure that we're keeping track of all that. Then we just give and administer very gentle and specific adjustments, getting rid of that stress, sparking those sparks in the brain, making sure that it's working properly, and retracing and getting through all the stuff that it's been holding on to. So it's just amazing to see the after effects of the adjustments and these lights turn on with these kiddos. So if you've seen that your baby is struggling with developmental milestones, if they are skipping milestones, if the doctor's saying, let's just wait and see, my perspective is let's be as proactive as we can possibly be and not wait. Because if we wait, something can get worse, right? So we always do free consults in the office. You can bring your baby in. I can answer some questions for you, give you some real feedback as to what's going on with your baby. And then we can get busy and correct it, right? So I'm Dr. Steve Lako with Lako Family Chiropractic, and reach out to us if you have any questions.